Hey, and welcome back to BPD Bitches. Today we are going to be talking about
people invalidating our emotions.
And what we mean by that is when you'll get somebody that pretends to care about you and your BPD, your emotions, your life, your choices, and then you get halfway through kind of explaining where you're at, and they'll chip in and be like, well, but we're all depressed now. We all have depression. We all find life hard. We're all, that way inclined. And I will want to go, will you just shut the fuck up, because you don't know how it feels to be depressed here and then up here the next minute. And yeah, I get a little bit irate.
I don't know if it's necessary that people are pretending to care about your problems. I think they're trying hard to actually show that they do care, but there's just a considerable lack of understanding, because people don't understand. If you've not experienced it yourself, you don't understand how intense those emotions can be, especially in the moment of when they're happening, and also the need to act on them.
But I feel like as soon as it gets to a point in the conversation where maybe they don't understand, they just cut you off and therefore stop trying to understand. So that's what I think I mean by people who pretend to care, because actually the bit that you don't understand should surely be the bit where you listen a bit more, because you want to understand somebody. And we've reached a point where maybe they don't understand, but they stop listening and they try to make me, because I'm talking about me, try to make me feel like what I'm talking about is nothing, and that actually I should get off my arse and go and get a job.
I can relate quite significantly with that. With people in my family would say to me things like, "Oh, why don't you try getting this type of little job, that type of little job?" And I'm just sitting there like, I am entirely unemployable. People really don't understand how much those emotions, those really intense emotions, do affect you. And it's not. It is being all over the place as well. The roller coaster that you're on is insane. Loop-de-loops all over the fucking place.
I can't even, whenever people try to get me to explain to them why I can't hold down a job, I can't even really remember what made me not be able to work anymore, because you're in that moment and I don't think you're rational. I almost think that you're having an out of body moment almost, and it's almost just all I can kind of explain it to be like is it's I cannot cope with the pressure of having to be there. But when you say that, everyone goes, well, yeah, but I don't want to go to work. No one wants to go to work. But I did hold down a job successfully for a many number of years. And it's just become lately that there comes a time and a point when I just can't do it. And especially if the job involves emotions. I was recently a teaching assistant and I loved it, and I think I was really good at it, and I kept getting given the children with additional needs, because obviously I'm obviously quite good with them, but my word, they have such horrible lives, bless them, a lot of the time, and such emotions, and filled with that. I was just coming home so exhausted. I had nothing left for my own child, nothing left for me. And I ended up getting signed off by the doctor because I just felt like a failure.
Well, I was working as a shop assistant, and I remember exactly how it went. And I feel like the invalidation actually, and just plain ignorance of how what mental illness is and what it's like. You just get completely disregarded, and then having been disregarded so much, especially with our type of impulsivity, we might say and do the wrong things a lot of the time, and that's what I think was.
And that's if you dare divulge that you've got this disability, because I have yet to actually do that, because I refuse to not even get an interview based on the fact that I have this disability.
I did try to divulge that I had the disability. I did do that. I was going through access to work because I wanted an assessment for things that would help me with my physical health, because I've got fibromyalgia.
Well, you should be able to divulge it.
But in the end, my managers were like, "Oh, we want to be able to just deal with it ourselves. We don't want people going through government organisations to get this or that or whatever." And it's like they thought that I was basically trying to I think. Grasp off or blame them for not being supportive enough of my disability, just by having
or get out of doing certain jobs.
It wasn't even trying to get out of doing anything. I was trying very hard to be able to do everything that I could, but there is an amount of stigma when it comes to it as well. You are looked at it being not as capable, and not as deserving of those sorts of a supportive work environment. It just doesn't really necessarily exist.
I think the problem we face is you don't know how you're going to be feeling each day. You know, I don't know about you, but I wake up in the morning never really sure which version of me is going to be there. And I think if you wake up and it's not a very helpful version of you that you wake up to, and then in my case I have to then try and get 2 children to school, you know, dressed and out the door, I haven't got any time really to get myself like physically dressed and prepared, let alone a chance to sort of calm and wind my brain down before I go anywhere. And I just think it just becomes so much. And then you know, with being paranoid and with being naturally somebody that tries to ruin anything good in my life, I think they're all just things that carry on to make you feel like you can't stick to things and you don't deserve things, and then you're kind of in that horrible vicious circle where I don't deserve to work, but if I don't work I feel bad for that, so then I hate myself for that as well. And I
think this video's suddenly become about how it is to be in the workplace rather than people invalidating your emotions.
Yeah, sorry, I do that I do that a lot.
But it is I think what you're getting at is that it is a social environment that isn't supportive of what our illness is.
More just that I think people tend to get at me because I don't work. Like it's a choice, forgetting that actually I did work many years, successfully, I hasten to add. But, you know, things change, trauma happens, you know, quite often trauma happens and no support is in place quick enough.
No support is in place for the spot.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, my little boy almost died when he was born, and I think that, you know, there was so much sort of like looking after him physically, which obviously 100% want, but nobody kind of thinks about, you know, actually the mum that's got the mum that's got to sit there in a quiet hospital room with her son attached to all these machines, and actually what that can kind of do to you. And I think, you know, especially when all my career at that point had been in healthcare and care, and, you know, and then I think like, you can no longer do that. So change is a part of who you are, really. But I just think the bottom line is that I don't think you truly understand our emotions and
other people who with the...
Unless you've been there.
If we talk about having borderline personality disorder as a type of neurodiversity, which it kind of is because trauma reshapes your brain, basically. Where was I going with this?
By the way, we I mean, I'm generally the worst one, but yes, we both tend to forget where we're up to. I can't even remember what you just said. Just people don't understand our emotions, I don't think, unless they've been there, really, or unless they're going to do. I did have
people. That's the thing, and people say that they think that they've been there, but they don't quite get it because, like, oh yeah, saying there's a type of neurodiversity. It's just that, like, it is physically uncontrollable the way that our emotions.
People think it's. I think people think it's a trendy thing to have as well, because you go on nights out and you say, "Oh, excuse me, I've got BPD." "Oh, I've got that." There's not a T-shirt club over there where you can get a T-shirt.
If I say to people that I've got BPD, I'm telling them as a warning.
Yeah, but they do. They suddenly say, "Oh, wait, I've got that. I've got that." Really, you just think you have, or some ex-partner who couldn't handle you says you have.
Fair, all these people, when we're going out, are probably quite also mentally damaged, and perhaps the ones that I also think that people with BPD are sort of like drawn to each other as well, like kind of like a sort of type of magnet.
Well, if they have all got it, you better bloody watch out, Norfolk, because we are everywhere. You are in trouble. I suggest you just accept the fact that you're going to marry a wacko and let us all get on with it, you know. Well, you know, yeah. I just said it like it is. We're all nuts. Well, the best ones are anyway, and the rest of them are so boring. You move on to the nuts ones anyway.
I think they do when I talk about how people are actually invalidating your emotions. Is when people just tell you, like, look at you and tell you not to be so fucking stupid all the time, or like, why are you behaving like this? And it is invalidating in that you don't have a reason to be feeling that way or to be behaving that way.
Here come the tears. Oh, don't cry. I was going to cry about it now. I'll make you fucking cry in a minute, mate. I'll chin you one, you know. I don't cry, actually, me, very often, so that's probably more aimed at her, but...
The different versions of yourself. Perhaps there is one that does cry a lot.
Just haven't met her yet. I'm actually getting a little bit less likely to cry as I go on, but
I get the different versions of myself when I want to chin somebody, but also like where I'm like also really fucking depressed and I want to just chin myself, or like
and she does.
yeah, I punch myself in the face repeatedly.
We're laughing because if we don't laugh, we'll,
like it's not nice for people to actually witness when they do see it, that it does look like a literal fucking crazy person, but I guess that's actually what I am.
But
surprise.
But we all have our own, like, well, I was going to invalidate you by saying, well, we all have our own ways of, I guess, self-harming or doing things to hurt. But that doesn't, I don't think that invalues what you've said at all, really. I just meant that, like, I don't punch myself in the face, I mean,
why, not everybody punches
why would
in
you
the face,
damage something so perfect?
I don't like having bruised face, but I
and I clearly don't think I'm perfect, by the way. So I think, it isn't comfortable to watch. We are around each,
it's like people don't understand like the intensity of your emotions as well until they actually witness it, and then they are terrified and they don't know how to deal with it.
And they say they can cope with you. And I've had so many friends that I've warned and said, you probably won't want to be my friend because, everybody has in the past said they want to be, and everybody always ends up leaving. And sometimes I take that to heart and I think it's to do with me. And sometimes I think I'm just hard work, but the right people will not think that, And
I want to say, I think we should probably wrap it up, but I want to wrap it up with a Dr. Seuss quote, and it is, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
And that's one of my favourite ever quotes. There you go. We will catch you soon. Thank you for watching, and we couldn't put a filter on, so this is like us at, midnight?
Laters.
Bye.